Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the On the Diamond and Into the D podcast. As always, I am your host, Mahal, and welcome to episode 85 of the podcast, and it's a good one. Today is Thursday, September 11th. The time of recording is 3:45, T-minus 3 hours-ish till first pitch, just under now. By the time this is out, it probably is going to be pretty close to first pitch. We'll probably be an hour or two away, and then this is a big one tonight. I mean, by the time you're listening to this, it's possible that you're going to know the outcome of tonight's ballgame. But what we know when I'm recording this right now is that the Houston Astros have already lost. The Rangers do not play today. It is a huge opportunity tonight for the Seattle Mariners. They sit a half game back of the Houston Astros and a game and a half up on Texas right now. A win tonight puts you 2 up on Texas and even with Houston for first place in the American League West in September. This is a massive opportunity. You are playing the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, who cause problems for you sometimes, but overall this is not a very good team. This is a team you should very easily, at the very least, win the series against at home, and possibly should sweep. Now, I'm not going to say you should sweep anybody, not even the White Sox, but at home, before a big road trip, with where you are at right now against a meh Angels team, you have an opportunity. It's a 4-game series. Sweeping a 4-game series is very, very difficult. Winning a 4-game series is also difficult. You gotta at least split the series. Winning the series, to me, is big time. You really need to, because you need to stay even to a game back of Houston. 2 games back isn't catastrophic, but you're going to need to make at least one of those up for me by the time you face them next Friday. But it's an opportunity, like we've said. And to me, this is a game that is filling me with a nervous, anxious excitement for the first time in a year plus. I don't think there was this energy really at any point last year. I mean, we had the Rangers series. That might have been 2 years ago. I can't even keep track at this point. But this feels different. It's a nervous, anxious excitement that's like, yeah, I feel like this team really can do this. And we went from a week ago being really just dumpy, sad, to really excited for what potentially this team can do, because they're playing better baseball. Yes, it's against the Atlanta Braves, who are not the same Atlanta Braves, and the St. Louis Cardinals. But you've won 5 straight games with your bullpen looking lights out, your lineup looking solid, but you're winning games the way the Seattle Mariners win games, with good starting pitching and your bullpen giving you an opportunity by not giving up runs, and your offense coming through with just that one clutch hit. And this team is built to be better at doing that than the team in 2023 was, than the team in 2024 was. It's more like the 2022 team, where they're built to be able to win those games. Now, it's different in that this year's team, the starting pitching and the bullpen isn't as good by a long shot, but the offense is better. So instead of it being, okay, we need the bullpen not to give up any runs, it's the bullpen can give up a run here. As long as you're within a run or 2, this offense should be able to get that done, because it's a good enough offense to go score 3, 4, 5 runs a night easily. And that's not going to happen every game. But if that doesn't happen, can the pitching back it up? And can you get a win anyway? Look at last night. It is 1-1 after 9, 2-2 after 11, and you win it in the 13th with a 2-run homer. by Leo Rivas, of all people. But that's a win that feels more like 2022 than any win has felt in the past 2 years. It reminds you of that Yankees game, Luis Castillo's first start at T-Mobile Park. And speaking of T-Mobile Park, this ballpark, the energy of this crowd has been electric, and I haven't been able to be there as I'm in California. But you can feel it watching it through the TV. You can hear it through the speakers, however you're watching, listening to the game. If you're listening on radio, you can hear it. You can hear the energy in Aaron Goldsmith's voice, Rick Riz's voice. You can feel that energy and feed off of it. And that's why this team has been so good at home. They've been the best team in baseball since their acquisition of Josh Naylor at home. They've been unstoppable at home. And I don't want to get ahead of myself and knock on wood here, because that can change with the snap of fingers. But you got a lot of games at home here. You have a final road trip about to kick off next week. You go to Kansas City for a big 3-game series, and then Houston for the biggest series of the entire frickin' season. That's the series that's probably going to decide the division. And we'll talk about it next Thursday. And we'll probably preview that whole series, because that's the biggest series, like I said, of the whole season. That's what all of these months have led up to. But from now on, every game matters the same. Every game matters, especially when you know that Houston's already lost today and Texas is off. When you know you can gain ground on those teams, it's even bigger of a game. So seeing that Houston did lose, that fills you with some butterflies. I expect there to be a bit of a nervous energy around the team. And I expect it either to be a little bit of a slow start for the bats, where you're seeing some strikeouts because they're a little bit antsy and they can feel that pressure. Either that, or they're going to take that pressure and they are going to go off. And the vibes are going to go through the roof. And if we get that version, it's completely different. Completely different. If we get a big first, second, third inning, and this team blows out the Angels tonight, the conversation tonight and tomorrow is one of partying. Houston plays the Atlanta Braves this weekend. If you're even going into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, obviously just Friday you'll be even for sure, but that plays a difference. And then the beginning of next week is massive. And we talked about how that Houston series is probably the biggest of the whole season. But when you go to Kansas City and face a team that is on your heels a little bit in the wild card, the team right behind you and the team right in front of you are facing off. Texas and Houston have a 3-game series at the beginning of next week. And to me, it's probably 2 or 3 to Texas you want there. But it also depends a lot on what happens this weekend. But can you separate yourself from Houston? Can you go win tonight? Go win 2 of the last 3 in Anaheim, or against Anaheim, and be a game up or even with Houston heading into Monday, and then go to KC and take 2 of 3. You could be a game or 2 up on Houston going into Houston, and then you can have a huge opportunity where you then have, 6 games left in the season? One final homestand where you now have a 2-3 game lead over Houston. You can already see everything shaping up. And Fangraphs has the Mariners ahead in their projection of who's going to win the AL West. But it's the Seattle frickin' Mariners. You never know what's going to happen. And you've been taught to not believe in this team. But maybe some witchcraft. Maybe the Etsy witch has finally done it. Maybe that curse is broken. But I'll believe it when I see it. Right now, it's let's not get ahead of ourselves and too excited. Because that's how you get your heart broken by this team. And it's happened time and time again. It's the life of a Seattle Mariners fan. And not often do you see the Seahawks and the Mariners both doing good things at the same time. As soon as the Seahawks drop week 1 to the Niners, Mariners are picking up their game. So maybe the Seahawks need to lose a couple weeks here. Maybe the Seahawks need to be bad this year. And if I'm sacrificing a bad Seahawks season for a Mariners playoff run, I mean, tears are filling in my eyes just right now thinking about the potential of a Mariners playoff run. Imagining the Mariners winning the division, going to the ALCS, winning potentially an ALCS, winning an AL pennant. It's the emotions are already flooding within me because these are things I've never experienced. This is something this fan base has barely experienced. If they go and do it this offseason, I mean, yeah, the off seasons have sucked, and a lot of that's because of ownership, but if you go and make the ALCS this offseason, the vibes are going to be way better because you just did something historic for this franchise. And that's all I'm asking. And that's a lot to ask for. But if you can go win this division, go win the AL West for the first time since 2001. 24 years since that's happened. If you can do that for the first time in Ken Griffey Jr. years, that's a big deal. And the city will rally behind it. The crowds have been electric. Electric. Josh Naylor has spoke about it extensively. And on Naylor, please, please, please go and extend this guy. Like ASAP. Go give him 5 years, $125 million. Go give him $25 million a year. 25 million. It's going to be somewhere in that range, I'm expecting. If you're telling me I can get him for 5 years at 100 million or 125, I'm doing it. Because this guy has changed the entire outlook of this season. He's changed the entire vibe of this team. He's something that this team has been direly needing. And he's a fan favorite at this point. You go let that guy go, the guy that's fixed first base for you for the first time since Justin Smoke's rookie year? Question mark? Like, you got to get it done. And you got to keep winning ball games. And that starts with this weekend. 4-game series against the Anaheim Angels. At T-Mobile Park. We know who the Anaheim Angels are. We know who the guys are in their lineup, and none of them are the quote-unquote guys. Nobody is quote-unquote scary. But Trout, Moncada, Neto, Adele, Ward, Rengifo, they're all pesky. Specifically Neto, Adele, Rengifo to me. Pesky. Trout always kills the Mariners. Ward kills the Mariners from time to time. Moncada, he's on the Angels now. You never know what he can do. They're all pesky, annoying players that somehow strive against playing the Mariners, and that's what the Angels have always done. But if you can welcome them to T-Mobile Park with a dominant victory tonight and go win 3 of 4 in this series at least, that's how you know that this team's different. And we'll talk about it next week. But this team has the energy about it right now. And hopefully they don't lose that. Stuff is clicking at the right time. And not everything is even clicking yet. Cal Raleigh's still not at his best. Robles, not at his best. JP, not at his best, to say the least. Gino, not at all at his best. None of these guys are at their very, very best, but they're all putting in good games. Julio's been very, very good recently, and it's worth mentioning because we mentioned when he's playing bad. So we have to mention when he's playing good. But I think the key for me in this series is make them beat you. Don't beat yourselves. That's on offense, that's on defense, that's pitching, that's staying away from walks for your pitchers, throwing the ball over the plate in some facet, not all the way over the plate, but it's making them hit the pitch. And if it's an 0-2 pitch, make them chase that pitch. Do not beat yourself. Work your walks. Don't chase. Don't run into outs on the base paths. Play clean defense. If they bloop hits in, don't let that get to your head. The message for me, if I'm manager of the Mariners, is make them beat you. Don't beat yourself, and that should be the message every series. But as we get into the final 5 series of the season, the final few weeks of the season, that's an even bigger message. Do not give away outs. Do not give up free base runners. And you're going to have an opportunity this series to get right against left-handed pitching. You have 2 lefties you're going to face. First is 24-year-old Mitch Ferris. He'll be pitching Game 3. It's the first one I'm going to talk about because he is the best of the 3, or the 4 starters you're going to see. He's had 2 starts this year. Now, the only reason he's the best is because statistically in those 2 starts, he is the best among everything. Most everything. The 2 starts. His first was a 5-inning, 3-hit, 1-run, 2-walk, 3-strikeout performance in Kansas City. Second, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. Both were earned on 2 home runs with 1 walk and 4 Ks against the Athletics at home. He hasn't been to Seattle. Get it rocking. Get the energy up. Make it a tough place to pitch. Make it a tough place to play, like it's been. He's a 3-pitch mix, and he's been good at getting chase, limiting barrel, hard hits, walks. He's limited all 3 of those things. 3-pitch mix. It's a fastball, it's a changeup, it's a slider. The changeup is his best pitch, so don't chase it. The whole series, don't chase, because you have guys that have been walking guys. Tonight, you have Jose Soriano, 4.01 walks per 9. Kikuchi tomorrow, 3.84 walks per 9. In Game 4, Caden Dana, 6.32 walks per 9. You're going to have the opportunity to work walks. And the crowd has the opportunity to make it even more difficult for pitchers. Be toxic. Be energized. All of that. Be what we know we can be. Be engaged. And this team feeds off of it. And for me, with the 2 lefties, you're going to need a few guys to step up. Randy, Julio, Gino. Gino has to step up. Cal from the right side, continue to step up. He's been worse in the second half, but you need him to step up from that side of the plate. Robles, get him up and rolling would be a great time this series to do that. Now, Leo Rivas is going to get more starts this series. I'd expect him to get at least 2, maybe 3. And I'd love to see him get a start at shortstop against one of the lefties. Give JP a day. Put Polo at second. Garver at DH, Robles at right. And get Canzone and Robles in a lineup together. Put your best foot forward every game from here on out. It matters, and you've got to do it. In terms of the Angels lineup overall, just quickly run through some stats. They're 23rd WRC plus, 29th in average, 28th in on base, 16th in slug, 22nd in OPS, 20th in runs, 4th in home runs, 29th in doubles, 29th in hits, 30th in strikeout percentage, 19th in walk percentage. Very, very similar to a Seattle Mariners ball club of last year and 2 years ago, where they're going to hit home runs. They're also going to strike out a whole lot. And all of their slug comes from home runs. They're not hitting very many doubles. Very Mariners-like. So you know how to attack that. Make them chase. Make them hit the ball if they have to. You're going to need your starting pitching to get right here and put their best foot forward each and every start, each and every day, every turn through the rotation from here on out. We're talking about just 2-3 more turns. But you need your guys to step up. It starts tonight. Tonight's a big one. It might be on the big screen with Thursday Night Football on the smaller screen. But it's an opportunity for real. So go and take advantage. That's what I'm calling for from the Seattle Mariners baseball team. As always, this has been Mahal. Thank you guys so much for joining me on episode 85 of On the Diamond Into the Deep. If you want more, you can find more content on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube. And you can get more episodes wherever you find your podcasts and YouTube. Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 85. As always, go Mariners. And peace.